We are live.
All right. Good evening to my
Let me see.
brothers. What's going on?
Let me see. Actually, if it actually comes up the way I think it wants to come up. You should see that first.
Take it off. Sound
Let's see.
good.
All right, start streaming. Okay, all right, yo, we live. How's it going?
Yeah, we live. Feeling good. Feeling good. No complaints here.
Good. I'm glad. Team's gotta go good.
Exactly,
Yeah,
bro.
I can hear you. I can hear you. Okay. I can hear everybody. I can hear everybody perfectly. That's actually pretty great. What is going on, guys? Welcome to the CTU show. Oh, podcast. Good job. Said it wrong. But it's our first episode together. We got
Sir B. Bobby.
on my left, we got a great young man. You see the watch, you see the rollie on his wrist, you see him.
Yo, like cheese.
You
Boy,
see
boy.
unique story. Okay.
I.
My boy's over here. He's really confident. And down in the middle, we have the one, the only. You see him play Rocket League. You see him play with us in all these games. Brownless.
Nice to meet y'all.
And you got me.
Me. Who's me?
I am.
Tell him.
Let them know.
I'm pretty great in a lot of things. Man,
I hear you.
of great things. This is.
Talk to him.
I am Trey Gunn.
Trey Guns. Light cheese. I see you. That's light though.
What is going on, guys? How were your guys' days?
Work is beautiful. A lot of stuff has been popping off though. A lot of stuff has been popping off on, the little social climate we got going on. The internet, everything going on. Can't wait to get into it. Can't wait to dig into it.
I hear that. Yeah, we're no complaints, just another light day. I thought the weather would be a lot more beautiful out, but it's been pretty cool. Cool.
Yeah. The weather is really good. Everything's out here. I wonder how the weather is where you guys are from. Weather is really interesting out here.
Okay.
Really interesting.
What do you mean? I live I don't know, not that far away from you.
I mean,
confused. Weather. We're in the same climate.
I mean, temperatures.
I hear you. Okay, all right. Okay. You never know. I hear that. But you kind of do know though. You kind of know. Kind of.
I feel you. Let's go ahead and get into our first topic. What's our first topic of the day, Unique?
All right. You know what it is. Let me get this stuff out. So, as everyone knows, we definitely have one of the most, in my personal experience, satisfying case and court session that I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. I thought personally that one, it was funny. There was a lot of people that were watching it, a lot of people that took, some clips and made something of it. But, Johnny Depp's court case, response, I want to say, to give some context to people about the case, it started over some allegations made by Amber Heard, stating that as far as I know, Johnny Depp abused her, toxically, in a toxic manner, emotionally, but more or less playing the physical card, physical abuse, which holds a heavy, weight in the social climate. So really, I really want to say that's damaging, especially from a man of Johnny Depp's height.
Yeah.
That's damaging.
Sure.
So going on for some time. A lot of people were bashing him. A lot of people were attacking him. Not physically, but on media. And they were like, yo, how could you do this? You have the Me Too movement that's also, saying out there like, yo, this man is an abuser. No facts, no information out. Abuser, no information out. So there's no evidence to conclude that he is an abuser physically. Let's be clear, physical abuser. But it did come out that video recordings of Amber Heard confessing that she struck him, was vocally abusing, emotionally abusing. She was toxic. So there was a lot of stuff that was going on here, like a lot of stuff. So you can tell that personally, people that thought that it was Johnny Depp, the rug got pulled right under them and they felt some type of way. Now it's crickets. Well, it used to be crickets. I take it back. Now a lot of people are coming out the woodwork saying, some memes are saying, yo, when are we gonna start with this toxic feminism? No, not feminism. Toxic femininity. Sorry. Okay. The opposite of toxic masculinity. So I might be, my speech ain't all that right now. But what y'all, from just the run through, what's y'all opinion on it? Because I got a lot, I got something here.
Okay. So for me, I remember I was reading into this and everything. It was a crazy case with Amber doing a lot. He ended up getting Johnny Depp fired from literally. Well, he can't work with Disney anymore at all. Got him clipped. She ended up doing a lot of stuff like that. So Amber, if I'm not mistaken, she actually was cheating on him too. Also, if I'm not mistaken, Johnny Depp, he's not wrong in any of the thing. She also lied about being abused. She had makeup. She ended up putting makeup and stuff like that, like big bruises on her face. Ended up doing stuff like that. It's really, really crazy. She's it's a crazy situation. It's a real bad situation where you have somebody that like his job and everything that he worked for is in jeopardy from this. Man, it's a little crazy. So it's a lot.
That's true. Yeah, for me, pretty much, I wasn't looking too into the details of the case. Like I was watching it bit by bit, and from what I'm seeing, it's looking like it's in his favor currently. And that's something that's not really expected, but kind of surprising if I may say so. Some of the evidence that came out about her, some of her video recordings and audio recordings that came out when she was saying that nobody's gonna believe you because you're a man. I thought that was wild.
Yeah.
The first time I heard that, and bouncing off of what Unique was saying with the toxic femininity, it's like that is something that should be brought up more. And I feel like this case is definitely going to be the first in a long list of steps that's going to bring it out. That's going to bring that more to the table and let that actually be a topic of discussion. Because, like for years we've been hearing about it, toxic manhood, toxic masculinity, y'all got to stop playing, y'all abusing women. And now here we have this situation clear as day of the reverse, and from what I've been seeing, like you can't even bring this up. I was just seeing it on Facebook posts, on Instagram posts. People would be like, yeah, let's talk about toxic femininity because of this case. And everybody's just quick to shut it down. They're like, no, we're not talking about that. We're talking about this case. It's like, nah, like we got to bring this up now. Like this is the perfect opportunity to show that we're equal. Between men and women, we're trying to have a civil discussion. We're not trying to like look down upon each other. And for it to get shut down, it's kind of crazy, but I'm hoping that it'll actually lead somewhere. I know that the first steps to, pushing new boundaries aren't going to be the easiest, but I'm hoping we can come to some sort of like consensus about that. So it's going to be interesting in these next few months. But as for the case itself, like from what I've been trying to look at both sides. I'm not trying to defend anyone. I'm trying to stay in a neutral party because it's like I don't know the situation fully until I take a side. So what I've been hearing, Amber Heard was very abusive towards him. She got her cut. He can't work with Disney no more. She's been trying to use him being drunk, like against him, to start off false allegations and whatnot. And like I feel like all the evidence and whatnot are starting to pile up against her, so she can't really like find a counter argument. And that's something I've been realizing these past couple days. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I got to see how this wedding plays out. I definitely got to look more into it.
Yeah, it's definitely a crazy case. It's definitely something that should be in the limelight a lot more. Like people should pay attention to it more than anything. I think that's a really really interesting case.
That's true.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna step in here real quick. I'm gonna be honest. It's about damn time. Excuse my language. It's about dang time. Listen. I'm gonna be honest. For a long time, we've lived in an age where nuance and just an understanding of each other has been like without, a presence in online media. You have Jordan Peterson. Shout out to him because he's an amazing, he's still a man. So I'm not gonna praise him like he's something amazing, but he does preach some type of sense that we can take pieces of.
Go ahead.
Also, not to mention, Abba and Preach, they're pretty good too. Those are my personal favorites. But besides them, you have people like Fresh and Fit, some other YouTubers that use a type of a polarizing topic, and they pick the most extreme, but they don't come from a place of authenticity and some nuance. Just look at the situation, try and dissect exactly what's going on, and then be calm, and then pass out proper judgment, at least judgment you can stand on. And if it's wrong, you can be like, what, I tried my best, instead of saying, I'm just gonna throw out the first thing that I think, and then that's just it. I think that this is a way to take this issue and say, well, it's not always men. It can be females too. This is a very popular case now where we can say, we could point at it and say, well, this is something that we should really pay attention of now, because we can see the other side of this. We got to take our time, save our judgments, and definitely use, our brain and take some time to actually break it down instead of throwing rocks at somebody as soon as you hear something, But I think this is, besides that, I think it's a larger issue. I think it's a larger issue when it comes to social media and just how we respond to social media in general. We're behind the camera. We don't need to see each other. We don't need to come face to face. And so there's type of an incentive, or maybe not an incentive. Maybe it's a type of implicit, unconscious thought that we have where we're out of danger. We're out of harm. So we don't have to worry about our words. We can just throw our words at you and we can just leave it alone. And you have to deal with that type of emotion that you have from reading, that language, them words. And I think hopefully with this, I'm not a pessimistic person, but I'm not optimistic. I hope that this can change this, the atmosphere of online media. As we can see, hopefully it rings bells in a lot of communities.
It's so funny. Wait, hold on. What just happened was It just ended our session in Zoom for me, saying that we had to upgrade our time limit, I guess. And that just happened. So this is a funny episode 1. This is a funny episode.
Yo, we started short. We started short. Short and sweet for right now. Short and sweet. We'll come back in a second.
So we're right back. Oh my god!
After these messages,
no, I'm still here. No, which is fucking stupid. I don't understand.
You about to put some money on that Zoom? Keep it live. Yo, listen, Zoom knows what it's doing. Zoom knows what it's doing. You know, we're having fun right now. Man, we having fun. You know, we got it. You know, we starting out right now. Oh, I'm starting out. You know, I'm having fun. You know, I want to get my voice out there, and you know, that's it. That's all it is.
Let me see.
Well, we trying to get our voice out there. You know. So, going on, continuing with the issue while we have, Trey Guns handle our technical difficulties. So Gary, what do you think about that social issue? Like that issue specifically? Like how, in your opinion, how can we change using this as a possible catalyst? I like this.
It would definitely take a lot more than just a few years of conversation. But I would definitely say the first step towards doing that would be to admit that it actually is more of an issue that we would like to show. You know, it's like domestic abuse happens for both genders. And unfortunately, when it comes to a woman hitting a male, it isn't so much discussed as much because there's a whole type of stigma surrounding that, you're the guy, you got to be tough, you can't show your emotion, so there's a lot of things you would have to break down and then rebuild, with that in mind at its crux. For example, it's like you would have to take out the whole stereotype that because we're guys and we're not able to talk about the things going on in our lives or talk about the more negative aspects of ourselves, and that, like, I feel like that is only pushing us apart as men, and like not even just from a community level, but like in every level, like just from a male to another male, people feel like there's like a wall between you and me, for example. It's like there's some things we can't say to each other, or like I'm not able to get emotional because we have this like type of male stereotype that we have to be tough 24/7, so that has to go. Like we have to admit that like just as much as females are, we're just as much capable of emotion. Like it's something that just needs to be accepted and understood. Like we can't just push it away. We can't just bury it and act like it doesn't exist, because that's only leading to what's happening. Like had he felt more accepted and more able to come to somebody about his situation, it probably wouldn't have been pushed to this extent. In terms of Johnny Depp's case, or like even on a personal level, like I've known some people that had to go through it and they felt like they couldn't tell anybody because they were a guy. And it's like we just have to start from scratch again and definitely just all come together again for more civil discussions. Like, this is something that exists. Like as guys, we gotta admit that it's okay to talk about like something that's going on. It's okay to open up, because if we don't, these things are going to continue to go unnoticed. Everybody's just going to keep going to the bar on Friday night acting like nothing's happened. It's like, nothing wrong with going to the bar on Fridays, but it's like you can go there, talk your feelings out. You don't got to bottle it up and act like it's something that isn't there until subconsciously it ends up coming out in a way that you didn't expect. Beyond that too, I don't know what it would take. Like it would have to take us really understanding the not so much understanding, but like it would really have to take us like from me to you to the next guy to the guy across the street to like out of state, et cetera, et cetera. Like for like most guys, a majority of males to just sit and have this type of discussion and say, yo, you know what? I feel okay. You have to just sit down and be like, yo, my feelings are my feelings. You know, like this is something that I can't bury. Like if we're gonna progress as individuals as well as like a whole gender, we have to be willing to accept that like the positives and the negatives. You know, it's like be able to my fault, be able to not so much feel like you're weak for needing help.
You know? Okay. I'm sorry to cut you off. Because I want to be able to diversify real quick. Okay, so the bad and the good, the weakness that we have to acknowledge, that maybe not weakness, we can be vulnerable, but we cannot show weakness. Let me rephrase that. Vulnerableness can be, it takes courage to be vulnerable, you know.
Yeah, that it does.
Definitely does.
But weakness is different. Weakness can be dangerous. I have seen weakness when it comes to people that, you know, either can't say no, they can't they give in to something super easily, you know, not having a backbone. That's a form of weakness, because you cannot stand strong in the face of, you know, social issues, people, you know, aggression of any kind. So then specifically, you know, highlight at least, you know, one thing that we have to, you know, kind of share when it comes to vulnerability as men. Like what will one thing lead us, like one step, how's one step can lead us
to what being more vulnerable,
being a little bit more vulnerable, Gary?
One step, that would just be to admit that it's something that needs to be accepted. You know, like from a basic level to a general level to a community level. It's like, instead of looking at the next guy and feeling envy or jealousy or some type of rage towards him, like just understand your own faults, shortcomings, and try to, not even just that, scratch that. You have to be able to go to the next man and be like, yo, I'm not feeling okay. That's it. That's it. And then from there, start the discussion, open yourself up, and allow yourself to be able to be vulnerable. You know, I would say that's another thing.
Okay.
And I understand that a lot of men hold on to a lot of pride and ego. So it's like, don't even look at it like you're being vulnerable, like you're in a position to be hurt, because you're not. You know, you're just as capable as you was before you let it out, as you're going to be after you let it out. Like, you know, as you just said, it takes a lot of courage to open up about this thing. And a lot of people don't like to perceive to be weak. But you got to understand that there's nothing weak about it. You know, like it's all an effort to help yourself grow, and it's all an effort to help the next person grow. You know, so it would just be like accepting it, just going to your person and be like, yo, I got a problem. Or like, yo, I gotta go open up to somebody, and then allow that to just generally flow throughout the world. And then we would probably get somewhere. That would definitely be a good logical step.
It's also pretty hard to like talk to people sometimes too, because
definitely.
Because you may have those friends that you can be more vulnerable to than your homeboys, maybe necessarily. I can't be 100% vulnerable to everybody. Like, not everybody can see my vulnerability.
Of course.
Like, I will have, normally, you show your vulnerability more towards female friends, maybe a dude that you're really, really close to, maybe a boy who you're really, really close to, that knew you like your whole life, maybe something along that line. You're never really vulnerable to just random people. Like, I've never had a situation of me going up to a random person just being like, yo, I need to talk to somebody. Like I've never had that.
Uh,
Never really had
and I would say for that, that's exactly why it would take a whole fundamental breakdown of what we've been taught so far.
that.
You know, I'm not saying it's beyond our control, but it's definitely something that would take multi generations, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we have to have the common belief be that it's okay to like both receive and both be able to receive help. I mean, both receive and be able to like accept that the person is trying to reach out to you for help.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people feel, a lot of guys in general feel like they can't open up to the next guy because they'll use it against them. You know, or they turn on their back and do something with it. And it's like, unfortunately, that does happen, and that's because of the type of morals and values and whatnot we've been taught to grow up. It was always survival of the fittest. Look out for yourself.
Yeah, kind of like a person that is burn once, and so they're scared to open up again.
Exactly.
So okay, all right, okay.
It's hard.
So
It's definitely pretty
Yeah,
hard
it's definitely
being
tough.
that.
Definitely
Really
tough.
hard because I you have people in your family that doesn't really like show vulnerability. You have people, you have your uncle, maybe a lot of uncles that really just show macho ness that they never really show you that sensitive side of them.
Yeah, that is true.
You always, even if people who have mothers, usually if you're a male, you're more vulnerable to your mom. You're more vulnerable to be like, hey mom, this is what's going on. Da da da. What should I do?
That's true.
Like most of the time, you're not gonna really talk to your. I'm not saying most of the time you're not gonna talk to your father, but some people they have that father relationship. Hey, I'm gonna be sensitive and I'm gonna talk to my dad about being what's going on.
Okay, so before we move on to the next topic, I actually want to kind of just ask that quick question. So when you say like you're vulnerable to your mom, or just say, in the sense when you have that option, because as men, as young boys, that we used to be, there is a certain at least as far as I've seen, there's a baseline of, depending on how the parent is, of course, but there's a baseline of, I would like to go to a motherly figure, which there are some biological facts to that. There is maybe not facts, but more evidence to support that we are more inclined to be next to our mothers, a matron, so on and so forth. Women are, it is pretty much supported to some degree that women are pretty impressive across the animal kingdom. So it's impressive. And when it comes to us, it's even more so impressive because we have higher levels of doing things and taking care of children that women have to do, taking care of children, so on and so forth. Now, there a lot more people are pushing, a lot more women are pushing work. But I feel like not just also that, because that's also one aspect of what makes, women great. It's not like, we bash women just to bash women, but it is, the earlier topic with Johnny Depp is something interesting. But it's I find it very interesting that we're like that. As young kids, we're more inclined to go to our mothers than our fathers for comfort. I find that just very interesting. But do you, in y'all opinion, do you guys find that more of like a common sense? Like, oh yeah, of course we're supposed to, or is it something
I don't think it's common sense. I think it's just how the relationship kind of thing is. Like, all right,
okay,
like it could be like if you always see your dad always be kind of tough, never really like sensitive, you're never gonna really always go to him and be like, hey, let me talk to him about the sensitivity stuff. Like, I'll rather go to my mom to talk about the sensitivity stuff than go to my dad.
Okay.
In my opinion.
All right. Okay.
With that one, I'm looking at it a little more at a neurological level, pretty much. It's like at our core, at our like base DNA, as well as with other animals. Like the mother figure is the nurturer, the care provider, the one to take care of them at the birth. Like all across the animal kingdom. You know, it's like let's take other mammals for example. Um, what's another mammal? Not even just mammals.
Like you could say like dogs, yeah. You could like the female
Well,
dogs.
that's a mammal.
I mean, oh, I said
I'm
mammal.
True.
no.
No. You
What?
can look at it like that with dogs
Yeah,
and
yeah,
cats
yeah.
and
You
whatnot.
definitely can look at
They
it with
birth
dogs.
a child. They're there to hold the child more. They breastfeed the child.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, like with us, we're the ones that's breastfed. We're the ones that's more inclined to be held like that. And it's just in our DNA,
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm,
as people. So that would definitely be something. Obviously, we couldn't just uproot because it's like survival instinct. That's the best word to put it. Survival instinct. You know, us as a child, we have no way of surviving without. We have no way of surviving without this caretaker.
Mm-hmm.
You
okay.
know,
Um.
and usually in that instance, it's our mother. So throughout the earlier years, it starts out as her being the one to breastfeed us, clothe us, feed us, warm us up, and keep warm. And then as we grow older, it becomes okay. You're the one that I'm going to go to for my emotional problems because I have the same mentality. Not mentality, but just I have an imprint of you're the one that I go to for this problem since birth.
Mm,
You
mm.
know,
Oh,
and obviously you can be like that with your father too.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like it happened before you even made some conscious thought, pretty much. So it's going to be something tough to just say you're done with.
Yeah.
So I
right.
think that's the reason. But go ahead, my
Okay.
fault.
All right. All right. That was a good. I feel like that was a perfect way to start this. It was a good issue, especially because I think Johnny Depp's situation has a deeper topic than what the court makes it seem like on a baseline. It's women, so on and so forth. Finally, so what the red pill community makes it seem like. Johnny Depp should have been this. Johnny Depp should have been this. Women, so on and so forth. This. I think the Johnny Depp shows us that on both sides, it can the pendulum can swing both sides and hit both people in the face. It doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah.
You really need to take the time and sit down, analyze the situation, get your information, and get varied sources of information. Don't take it from one place. Don't take it from the right. Don't take it from the left. Don't take it from Hollywood or the Bitcoin, whatever you want to call the opposite of Hollywood, or even YouTube, even us, to some degree. We're not super fact checkers. We do have our opinions, and we do put in some of the research. But even we are fallible. We're of course we're fallible. We can make incorrect assumptions. We're human. But moving on. The next topic that we got, and this is something that I kind of really wanted to get on, on our social category.
Mm-hmm.
So, teacher in Sacramento says the N-word. Now, that doesn't seem like much of a problem. I know, right? It's kind of messed up. But so in series, just the base level, she tried to use the F the patriarchy that a young individual, a child, wrote on a homework or a test or an exam,
Mm-hmm.
wrote on a piece of paper, gave it to the professor. The teacher. The teacher thought that it would be a good topic or a good way to kind of go into the
Like segue
I
into
want to
the
say
topic?
the epiology or the origin of a word for the people that don't know the origin of the word for patriarchy, and to show that to some degree that the word has a history. The word has not only history, it can have a varied history, but to kind of segue into the fact that the patriarchy is a negative thing, which I don't necessarily agree or disagree with. That's a hard conversation to have with children. But you gotta start somewhere, and I applaud the teacher to at least try to create something, or try and, you know, get the kids to understand higher concepts and higher stuff, at least to, you know, have them grow a part of social environments, and just be aware of social stuff, even though they are kids, you know. But she thought that it was a teachable moment, and she started throwing out words, you know, to show that certain words have history and not all of it is good, so on and so forth. She throws out, you know, I can't say here, but she throws out, you know, oh, the patriarchy. You have, you know, an S word, you know, for Mexican people, so on and so forth. I'm not gonna say it. And then you have like the N word, you know, with the A and then the ER. So, you know, mind you, this is a Spanish woman. But even then, that's even a hot, you know, freaking stove. I don't even think that you should be touching that. But I brought it up because I really wanted to ask you guys this hard question. And I think you guys are smart enough to answer this, because a lot of people that have given like airy answers, not like 100%. Do you think that the race of the teacher gives them some type of key or card? And I only say this in this way: key or card to use the word, or is it more or less where you come from, the community that you come from, instead of the race? Is it the people that you grew up? Because, you know, one place that I can pull up is New York. New York is a great community, you know, of people, a little rowdy, but even some individuals in that community that aren't African American or Black or Jamaican, you know, even Jamaican people don't really use it that much, but not that I've known. Do you think it's a community issue, or do you think it's a race issue? And this, you know, this might seem like a corny answer. I understand it could be a corny answer.
This is a long ass question.
It is a long ass question. I understand. You know, we got time. We got some time. We got some time. You know, dig into it, Trey.
Do I want to say that does she get the pass, or does she doesn't? I think it's the wrong place, wrong time to use it at that moment. I think it was really wrong place. I understand, yeah, it's the classroom, you know, you're trying to teach kids something, and in that moment, but it's like, why use it then? You know, and she ended up getting fired, right? She ended up getting her. She lost.
Yes, I if I can remember correctly, she did. Either got placed on leave, but I'm more inclined to say that she got fired. I was in a rush
because
when I was researching all this.
Because she's Spanish. I'm not gonna say yeah, and I'm not gonna say no. I'm gonna say strongly a little bit more no.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna say no.
So okay. So before we get into that, because I'm gonna come back, you know, I'm gonna come back to you in my personal opinion. Gary, what do you think?
It was at the core of it unprofessional, because you're a teacher, and regardless of their age, that was definitely a word that you shouldn't have said in the classroom. I can understand you staying in your neighborhood. You know, I can understand you saying it to a colleague off the clock or somewhere, not in front of the children. But no, it was just wrong. You know, she probably spoke up and said it, but it's rather unfortunate, being that you're, you know, a teacher. You know, for this stuff, you kind of gotta have not so much that moral high ground, but definitely the know-how to realize when and when not to say something like that. You know, so I definitely think she was wrong. That's all. You know, I'm not gonna crucify her over it. You know, it's just it was something that was unfortunately said wrong place, wrong time, like they said. You know.
Okay.
It was definitely wrong place, wrong time to use it. It was definitely that. Like I understand, yeah, you're giving the kids good teaching. Like, you're trying to teach them, hey, listen, don't really use these words. these are what the meanings are. I understand that part, but I think you don't like in that light. You don't use it. You don't use it at all. Shouldn't really just throw it out there. Yeah, this is this and this, and then you sacrifice your job. Outside of work, you probably do use the word. You back off with what Gary just said. Same thing. He backs off exactly the same way, where it's like you shouldn't really use it in that light. Like I understand, yeah, the teachable moment. It was just bad. Bad.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, you said something. I want to acknowledge that. Okay. I do agree with the idea. Well, not with the deal, but with the statement that you said, Gary, where where she's a teacher, so to some degree, in that classroom experience, in that classroom area, it is, if I remember correctly, it is a little bit of, in my opinion, it is a little bit of a different environment, and you should be careful of how you do this and how you say things. So, right, okay. Trey, when you said that she was Spanish and you said a little bit of a no, do you think that depending on, let's say,
Depending
if
on
they
the race of the
explain
person?
just no, depending on the I guess the type of Spanish, because Spanish to some degree, some people say from Spain, some people say it's from Latin islands, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, even further going down south, you have Ecuador, Venezuela, so on and so forth. Do you think that it's more acceptable for, let's say, Hispanics, not Hispanics, Puerto Ricans or Dominicans, which have a lot of that I know have a lot of African American ancestors, that do have African American ancestors because of the mixed ancestry between African Americans, Spanish conquistadors, and the Native Americans or Taino Indian Native Americans that live there. Do you think that gives them a little bit more of a leeway to say it, or is it just a no? Like it's more of a no across the board. Like it doesn't matter where you are on the map of the world.
For me,
where you come from.
For me itself, I really don't care who uses the word really, because it doesn't hurt my feelings. Doesn't at all, really. But it's like just like, yeah, you can use it, you can, because everybody in the world's using it. We seen everybody in the world using it, and nobody's getting like, we had a numbers of people use the word, and nothing happened to them at all. Numbers of people throughout the world, celebrities and everybody that's using the word, nothing happens. I want to say, truthfully, yeah, you can use it. It doesn't really hurt me at all. I mean, it matters how you're using the word too. Also, if you're around, which people do say it in private, but if you're like in an altercation or something like that, that's like the bad. Like, don't use the word at that point. Like, consequences.
So you're saying you can use it to some degree in like if you're the safety of your own home.
Yeah.
But don't use it out there in like public. Don't be
yeah.
You could just say whatever you want.
No.
Okay.
No, because everybody's saying the word in private. Everyone's saying it. There's no one in this world that's not saying all these racist things. Nobody, people in their own home are saying these things to people.
Okay.
About
I'm gonna be honest. I looking at the subject and looking at the place and the atmosphere, I can understand what she was doing. I said it before, but I think that personally, in a classroom setting, not only do you have to choose your words very wisely, you have to choose examples very wisely. You have to not only that, but you also have to lead with some type of story to at least break it down and simplify for children, because to some degree in psychology, children at a certain age cannot, I believe, before 12 years old, 12-year-olds and after 12 going up, you can deal with abstract thoughts. So you now can think of higher functioning thoughts and abstract ideas. So obviously when you're 12 or going into high school, you can give these children to some degree some education that is a little bit more on the factual side, rather than this is, let's say, the Poseidon and Zeus, and this is the Odin, and basically making a difference using fables, or stories, unique stories. So I'm waiting for a boo from you, Trey. I'm waiting for a boo, but I think it is something that should have you should have allowed for the next teacher to handle that situation, even if you think that you could have done better. With children like that, you have to make it into a story. You have to make it into a fable, something that captures them, entertains them, but also gives them something that can give you informational things that actually pertain to the lesson in an effective manner. I'm not a teacher. Hopefully one day, I'm working on it. I'm on my path to become an educator myself. And I don't even know everything about it, but I have my opinion on it.
You could have also used it like, all right, let's just say the classroom she's teaching is a history class. Okay, we can kind of use it there. You can kind of use it there. You can history. Okay. Especially you can. But if we just having kids is passing notes and you must have picked up the note and just been like, yo, you know what? I'm just gonna teach these kids about these words and the meaning of these words. Wrong place, wrong time, because a kid can get offended, goes to the principal, and then be like, yo, this teacher said all these words, and that's probably what happened. They probably went home.
Well, okay. So when I said before that it was a test, that it was on a report, it was a handed in question, answer to a question that the teacher asked them to write down.
Okay.
Either if it was homework or an exam, I don't know. So it wasn't like they were passing it between each other. It was intentionally handed in to the teacher just seeing the question, the answer to the question, and just thought about going on that tangent. Maybe not tangent, but
which is like a bad. It was like a bad. I'm not gonna say a bad rep, but it's like bad place for it. Like,
right.
It wasn't like something where I could sit there and be like, okay, here's this and this. Like, I can understand us teaching. You could have. That was a great moment to be a teaching moment, but it was just like, I guess, parents. Kids are gonna call their parents after that. Maybe a kid recorded it. Maybe there's always that. You have that. It's just a bad statement, really.
Okay. So, all right. Okay. I can see what you're saying now, and I you've said it before, but now that you've at least kind of said it again, it got me to think about it, because I focused in on Gary's point earlier. So, okay, be it that some of those are some of the things that happen. There's a lot of stuff that we're not going to be able to get to, but I just thought like we should really throw out some big, some stuff here, and some stuff that gets us really thinking. Some tough topics, and something that I believe personally was important that I wanted to share with you guys today, and have us talk about. So here at CTU, we do have 3 ways of beautiful things that we will talk about. We have our social topics that we will bring up to you guys every day, and we're going to choose those things between us. Right now we're going to be going into our a hot topic, not hot topic, but a very casual topic that everyone loves is gaming. You know what I mean? We all love gaming. CTU is built on a companionship of gaming. We like to play our games. Rocket League. A little bit of that.
That's all. Like probably the only game we only play with.
That's the only game that we play together. But it's because we're we got some skill in it. It's not that we can't play, but we got some skill in it.
We all play a separate amount of the game.
We all play a separate amount of games, but we can definitely at least come together and admire like a really good game. Elden Ring. To some degree, from my personal experience, me and you, Trayvon, we can agree on like Detroit Becomes Human was, an emotional game.
The Detroit Becomes Humans was a really, really great game.
It was a really good game, in my opinion. It was an emotional game. It caught me on a roller coaster. I felt some type of way at the end.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm talking about, Trayvon.
Yeah.
And Gary, me and you talk about, a good amount of freaking games when it comes to, Skyrim, some topics on that. Definitely Elden Ring, you're definitely helping me on that, so I appreciate that. But let's go on to our next topic. Our next topic is the new Star Wars Skywalker saga. It's reported to be new from the ground up. The game is built on the premise of freedom and the ultimate freedom to go wherever you like in the Star Wars galaxy. That was a quote by the head designer Arthur Parson.
Who's making it? Is it EA still?
I actually do not know, but I have a feeling it's not, because it's not microtransaction. So I'm happy about that. That's OD. But as far as I know, it's not. But I have seen some of the gameplay and a trailer for it. And, I don't know, Trayvon, if you're a Star Wars fan. I'm personally a really big Star Wars fan. But from what I've seen between the trailer, it's your famous old Legos game. You have your Lego blocks, your cool characters, it's all fun and game. But they seem to took a really good twist with the combat. The combat seems to be a lot more fluid. It seems to be a little bit more focused on action rather than previous Lego games when it comes to Star Wars. Where it was focused on a more if you hit me, I hit you, so on and so forth combat. Now it's more of a forced unleash combat. That's the best way I can put it. Forced unleash combat, just Legofied. So it seems to be something, but it just came out, I believe. If it did not come out already,
the Lego dream,
it came out. Okay. All right.
I don't know why I said EA. I forgot. I didn't know you were talking about the Lego Star Wars game. Oh my.
Yeah.
That's definitely a great title. I actually seen it on TikTok. People are really, really liking that game. They put all the Lego games, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
It's like all of it together.
Right. Gary just left to be right back.
No, he's right here.
Awesome.
I've never played it.
You never played it?
My opinion.
Gary.
My fault, Trey. I didn't mean to cut you off. No. Cool. Yeah, I like all that. I think it's really cool that they put all the games in one. Maybe I'm just getting too old, but it hasn't really appealed to me. But if I definitely had, a younger relative with a PS4 or something, I would definitely get it for them.
Yeah.
I think it's really nice. I think the action looks really slick and whatnot. but it's just not the game for me anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and I used to really love Lego games from Star Wars to Batman, Indiana Jones, Harry Potter, all of them. You know, but just not these days. You know, and that's actually looking at something deeper in game related. It's like, you know, there's all these titles and all these games that's out. It's great, but nothing that's really captivating. You know, like aside from Elden Ring, like I've been playing Rocket League for like nearly 2 years now, and nothing really like been hitting like that.
Yeah.
You know, all these spectacle movie type games have been coming out, and they all look nice. You know, all the AAA grades that they're either lackluster in terms of gameplay, or it just, you know, they just fall by the wayside because they are what people are like hyping it up to be. You know, I've just got to call that a favorite, but you know, so I was looking at it, but it didn't really catch my interest.
I feel like right now, I feel like every game so far that a lot of games are coming out are literally getting the one and done thing where people will play it for a little bit and then they will literally jump off of it immediately. Once it becomes like a title that's not so great, like you had Elden Ring come out, and it was like another type Elden Ring game that came out like that same week, and nobody played it.
Like what was the game?
It was like I think it was like biblical. It was like biblical. It was like biblical or something like that. There's like biblical fall or something like that.
Godfall.
Godfall? No, Biblefall.
No.
Some type of fall. It fell from grace. That's what it did. It fell from grace.
Godfall is actually a great topic too. Also, that's another game that got really bad. That got real bad fast for some reason. Nobody played it. I mean, nobody had a PS5 and nobody played the game.
Yeah,
well, the PS5 was stripped by everyone. If you had money to get a PS5, it was over.
Players.
Yeah. You didn't have a high number of players. It looks like a great game. It plays. It's okay. You know.
I mean, it looked when they showed out the trailer for it, I wanted to buy it immediately. Yeah. I'm being so dead honest. The way they were making it seem was like a God of War, new God of War, you know, type combat game with co-op and you know a twist of Soul's identity where to some degree the bosses would get either they would play the same but they would get harder. This game did it kind of a little different. The enemies or the bosses would change how they would fight in Godfall. They would change how they fight. So instead of being the same generic things, as soon as you throw somebody in there, he either does different attacks or he starts playing a little bit different. He starts attacking different players accordingly, from whatever their algorithm is and however they did it. So it was actually pretty cool. I liked it. Or the idea of it.
It's on PS4 now.
It is, but I'm not buying it. It's gone. It's done. It died. It's over. It fell over.
Like this is what the problem is.
It basically committed self-deletion. So I mean, basically. So
you had a number of games do that to themselves.
Right, a lot of games.
You have a fighting game problem. Really, you have a really bad fighting game problem where you have games go in an area of being easy. A lot of fighting games right now in this day and age are very easy now. Very easy. We just picked up a fighting game.
Okay, hold on. Before we get into that, because that is actually a pretty good thing with the fighting game, and I definitely want you to come back to that. I'll try to remind you and ask you that question later. Gary, I want to ask you. This is something that's been bothering me a little bit. Do you think that you're good? You good?
No. You paused, and it was dumb.
I appreciate it. So Gary, do you think that games nowadays are losing their storytelling ability? Do you think like back in the day, when you used to play Modern Warfare 2 when my man Roach got shot, he fell, the general caught him, crazy. You had to race that. You think maybe that might not be the best storytelling game, but
that's
that definitely is not. But it is that like wow factor at least that you can get from like, dang, like they really did me dirty. Like you can have that emotional attachment to like, let's say, an action game. Do you think nowadays, that games are still keeping up with that? And I want you to exclude Final Fantasy. I want you to exclude Final Fantasy because that's like actually a really fucking good story. Excuse my language.
Honestly, I've been very out of the loop, so I wouldn't really know. As I said, I've been playing a lot of Rocket League. Really, it's like it may just be an age thing, but just games aren't as captivating. Like I'm playing XCOM and whatnot. See what else I'd be playing. Elden, that would be a good example. Elden would be a case that I would argue against. Not against, but like it definitely has an amazing story. It's fantastic, pretty much. They're definitely keeping up with the quality, if not exceeding the quality of what games in the past could do, only because of like the hardware limitations and what actually could fit in the story as well as like with the game. So they're definitely expanding upon things and making beautiful stories. Like I really like Devil May Cry. I like Persona 5. Games like this. So I would say, yeah, they're still keeping up. It hasn't been as entertaining. Or like you have these big Hollywood blockbuster type games like Uncharted. You got The Last of Us. You can even go back to when the PS4 first came out with the Order 1886. Games that look really good. They're very flashy, they're very high budget storytelling games. So they're still out there.
I would even throw in Until Dawn. Until Dawn wasn't a bad storytelling game as well.
Refresh me about that.
Until Dawn was
Until Dawn was what?
The horror game.
The horror game. Oh yeah, no. The one where he throws you into the realm that's all white. You got to fight your enemies. Is that the one?
No, that's Evil Dead.
No? Yeah, that's Evil Dead, right?
No,
Until Dawn was like that 80s horror movie one. They were on this ski trip, and there was a Wendigo attack out there, and you pretty much played as different characters, and it was like not a point and click adventure, but it was like Heavy Rain, or more horror focused. I think it was made by the same people actually.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. Very impressive.
It was like quick time events. It had a lot of quick time events in it, and like each person who died,
the snow game, the snow game, the one that the kids went to the cabin, or young adults went to the cabin.
They all started dying, and then their choices would affect them.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So let me hit y'all with the next one. So topic 2 is something that for me and Trayvon know a little bit about it. Gary, I don't know if you've been catching up on it, or if you've played it in the last, well, I want to say 4 years, because it came out when the PlayStation 4 came out. God of War. A couple of weeks ago, we got a confirmation from the big dog, the developer of the game, one of the developers of the game. I don't know if it was the owner, but he shared that God of War Ragnarok, yes, the end of the world, the big god fight that's about to be happening in that game. He basically made the statement and sent it out on a tweet, and he basically said, "Yo, we're going, we're getting it done. It's gonna be out this year." So it's still on track from what we know of. And I'm gonna be honest. What's your predictions? What's your predictions about that? Because I'm excited. I'm feeling like that's gonna blow. That's gonna give PlayStation a whole new amount of money.
I think that's a Game of the Year title.
Easily.
It's definitely Game of the Year title.
Easily. That trailer, amazing.
Amazing. Atreus. Everybody looks lit. Everybody looks good. combat looks even more better than what it already originally looked like in the remake of God of War. Well, you can call it. Would you call that a remake?
It's not a remake. It's not a remake. It's a continuation. The story's still the same. Continuity's there, so it's in line. It's Devil May Cry 5 to Devil May Cry 4. That's what you can think of it. Okay. It's like a massive time leap.
Okay.
Or a good enough time leap. Maybe not massive, but a good enough time leap.
Yeah, good enough. It's definitely gonna be something that maybe it tops maybe PlayStation's best game of all time. Probably. It's definitely gonna be. I think PlayStation has a unique lineup with that. Because I believe that comes out the end. I think that's gonna come out at the end of the year. That's definitely gonna be the end of the year title. It's gonna be PlayStation 5's year 2 probably of it rolling out. Year 2, year 3. I'm saying that will be that game for them. The big battle is gonna be pretty lit. I think that's how the game is gonna open up. I think the game opens up with Thor and Kratos fighting each other. I think that's gonna be the opener. I think that's gonna be something that, and then you go along the line of maybe they go the route like Uncharted did, where it starts off in the middle or it starts off at the end, and then it brings you back into like, how did I get here up to this point?
I hope they don't, because I really want to be able to take me on the loop. You know what I mean? Take me around the track and bring me to the end of the track, or at least to the next part of the track. I want to be, personally, my predictions is I agree with you. It's going to be game of the year easily. And for the two interesting things. One, Atreus is now a teenager. Before I think he was like 12 years old or something like that, or 11. Now it's about, a couple of years because of Nimblewinter, and the Edda, if I remember correctly. I don't know if it was, I might butcher the word before, but it was post Edda or pre Edda. I forgot what the actual, previous word is, but the Edda that the Edda tells and describes Ragnarok, and it describes Nimblewinter also as well, that to some degree, or if it's not the Edda, other historical texts, it basically shows that the Nimblewinter lasts a couple of years. It's like the winter that lasts the longest. And during everything, as far as I know, it doesn't end. Like, this is going to be a game where it's going to be constantly snowing. If you're not in, like, let's say one of the other realms where, maybe, maybe not Helheim, but,
Okay.
I forgot what the other one was.
So, like, if you go to, like, Asgard, it's not going to be snowing in Asgard.
Probably not. No, I don't think it's going to be snowing in Asgard. But in, like, the lesser realms where, Midgard is definitely going to be snowing constantly. Because God of War it took like an interesting twist on it. It changed a couple of things around, like
the combat, the combat in the camera,
the places of it
is the combat in the camera was really great. Some people don't. Some of the old school guys who love God of War 1, 2, and 3 love the fact that the camera was kind of far away. And it was more kind of arcadey rather than being a role playing, like how now it is, where it's more of a role playing. Camera's up a little bit more zoomed up. I get this. I'm actually fighting. I'm actually have to like dodge. Actually be.
I like that though.
Yeah, I like it more close up. I'm not. I didn't really. That's why I kind of didn't play. I didn't play really the original ones. I kind of watched them. It was more of that. Never really got the chance of having a God of War in my possession when I was young. Didn't.
Okay. Gary, what do you think? Because I've seen you just analyzing the conversation here.
Just been listening in. Pretty much I missed the whole God of War cutscene, but I have had some thoughts about it. My observation, he's definitely gonna have his clash with Thor. I don't think it'll happen immediately on the start. Like, if anything, it may be a cutscene and they'll leave it on a cliffhanger. Or Kratos might actually get beat, but in the cutscene. Obviously, in retaliation for Kratos killing his brother at the end of the game, the end of the first game. Right. With the Atreus being a teenager, that's going to be more interesting, because they definitely have a bunch of different routes that you can take with this character. Not going to say any spoilers, but, like, if you know who he really is, that's going to be pretty interesting to see.
Yeah.
So, like, between the rest of the Pantheon that Kratos has to clash with, I can see them making this, a very, very potential contender for Game of the Year.
Yeah.
On top of that, I can probably speculate an Odin appearance, but maybe not necessarily a fight. More so in the same way they showed Zeus in the second game for the first trilogy, and they have Duke on the third game. But it's gonna be interesting.
It might leave off on a cliffhanger of getting a third game.
Yeah, it definitely is.
It can lead in that. It can lead in a sense of maybe Atreus is in Asgard. Maybe a cliffhanger is like Atreus is in Asgard and he's stuck there like forever. Like not only stuck forever.
Well,
but he takes Atreus.
So if anyone is interested or at least has some type of grasp on mythology and the stories that it has, especially in Norse mythology, Atreus, and for the people that don't know who Atreus is, I really suggest you play the game. Right now, we're not going to explain it. It's been about 4 years since the PlayStation 4 has come out and God of War has come out right after it, if not on with it. So for anyone that's
that was year 2. That was definitely year 2.
Year 2. So you should automatically at least be able to search up a video if you don't want to play the whole game. I suggest you play the game. It's absolutely fun. It's a really great game, and they did an evolution of a game really well because they didn't make it exactly how the previous games were. They did it in a way where they were like, how can we make this game a newer version of how other games play, but it feels as close as it can to God of War's brutality, as you can say. But so for the people that don't know, Atreus is a very important person in Norse mythology. And in Norse mythology, his persona or his the character which you attach him to in the post-edit and pre-edit or whatever the appropriate names are, has a horrible, and I'm gonna be honest, I feel sad for the person, for the person, has a horrible existence among Odin and the rest of them. Horrible. Like, I'm talking about some of the things that happened to him in mythology. It's terrible. So because God of War is very nice with how they take mythology and they twist it. They make it really good. They try to keep it exactly the same way as you find it in mythology and the stories that you find in mythology. I'm gonna feel really sad for Atreus. I'm gonna feel really sad if they're gonna keep exactly close to this. Atreus is gonna have a very rough future in these games. These games, you're gonna probably feel for Atreus more than anyone else in the history of games.
Well,
so I'm gonna say keep an eye out for Atreus. Hopefully, we can root for him. But this is God of War, and we all know that. I was about to curse, but we definitely know that people ain't safe. People ain't safe from getting jacked up. So we definitely could we can expect something from Atreus.
Well, my next question to you is: you don't think that after this game, the next game is the last one?
No. You already threw out Olympus. You have Greek mythology. You have Norse mythology. Of course, you have to have Egyptian mythology. Those are like the 3 big mythologies. Besides Hinduism, But Hinduism is not even a polytheistic religion. As far as I know, there's a specific word for the amount of gods and goddesses they have. Like it's in the ranking of 1,000. That's more than just multiple. That's like everything. Like, so I'm gonna leave Hinduism to the side because that's gonna be like 1,000 games into Kratos, and we're not gonna be doing. I'm pretty sure developers are not gonna waste their time with something that they can't even finish. So, Egyptian mythology is probably the next one, and Egyptian more closely, maybe Egyptian with a mix of Babylonian stories, like Gilgamesh, which would be an amazing fight if anybody knows about Gilgamesh. So I think God of War does have an answer. Has an answer after this God of War series of games.
I don't know. I mean, we're just gonna have to see if they're gonna keep on pushing out that title. That's one of those things. It's hard to say. So when to stop a game too. Sometimes. Sometimes when a series is going pretty great, there are times where you're gonna have games that are not too great, like the other classics. So right. I'd rather avoid something in a sense of like, hey, listen, we're not up to par making this. This will be what the second one out of this universe, and then we're gonna get a third one, and then you're gonna what? You're gonna give me 4, 5, 6. You're gonna keep on going. That's gonna seem crazy. Unless you're gonna pack the third game.
It's basically
heavy.
Like Assassin's Creed. You just reminded me. It's basically Assassin's Creed, but just with mythology rather than with history.
Okay. And that's what I think they won't do, only because I feel like the third one in this trilogy is going to be the end of Kratos. All things considered.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Either he's going to retire, or he's just going to be too old of age and just die in one hectic battle. But I don't think they'll drag it beyond this point.
Yeah.
Obviously they could, but it would kind of be excessive. But then again, there's that argument that Trey said, if the numbers are there and people want more, they might provide. So you don't know. But considering the whole jump in age, how Kratos is more so looking like a father and mentor figure now, he might get the boot.
Yeah. It's hard too. It's hard to capture that first game. That first game was really, really good. Really, really, really good. I know the second game is gonna be great, but then you're gonna have to top those games. Then it has to go, and you're gonna keep on chasing. Like you're gonna keep on going higher and higher each time to get better and better. And sometimes the situation is not good like that. Really not good. Playing that game.
So okay. So besides dragging out the game itself. So I'm gonna be honest. I think they could take it a couple of different ways depending on how they want to do it. I don't think it's ever too late to continue a game because we've seen what happens when we've seen it happen when it comes down to games that take too long or games that have like infinite amount of post games after it that can try and make like a 11 games Call of Duty a little too much games. Final Fantasy though Final Fantasy can do it. Final Fantasy can do that. Final Fantasy 14, Final Fantasy 7, excuse me, that's what 7 games after that. Well, technically if you're using the the numbers, I'm pretty sure there was previous games, but
look at the Final Fantasy titles.
Add more.
Look at the Final Fantasy titles. So ones are really, really great ones. We all, everybody talks about 7. Everybody talks about 15. 15 was really, really good.
That's true.
But then look at everything else, like in the bunch of it, because then you have 13 with like lightning, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's 13. You have like too much games to kind of like be like, yo, these are the good ones. I don't remember nothing about 14.
It was online.
Yeah.
That's disappointing.
He said
what I've seen on it, it was very popular. It's got a lot of expansions going on.
Mm-hmm.
But it's pretty much a pay by the month subscription, which is why I didn't really look into it.
Mm-hmm.
Those types of games, it always felt like you had to, consistently grind.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's hard to really keep a game's legacy high. You did bring up Call of Duty. Call of Duty is definitely in a light of being like Cold War wasn't so bad, but like then you got Vanguard where it's kind of like, come on guys, I understand, like, you guys, we starting to run out of ideas, but like take a break then. If we're running out of ideas, then take a break. We shouldn't just keep on making a game. We like, you gotta give some time up. You have to give some time to let us breathe for a little bit, come back, and then let's figure out from now. We just had that with WWE. Just did the same thing where they didn't come out with a game for 2 years, and look at them now, and then now they finally fixed the game because they pooped out WWE 2K20 and it was bad, really bad. It was very glitchy. It didn't play. It couldn't. It was unplayable. And then now you have 2K22 where it's a great game. None of those problems that you had in 20 is there because you took the 2 years off.
Okay.
You have to give a break.
Okay, I can agree with the break part. You do have to take a short, at least a short break, when it comes to that type of stuff if you want to keep at it. But
keep it great.
Okay, so for the second segment, we're gonna be talking about comics and mangas and stuff like that, which is a passionate source between us three. A little bit more. I want to be honest. When it comes to the manga aspect, that's Gary. Crownless, and Crownless he has some great selections, some great stuff up his sleeve that a lot of people. Wow, that was embarrassing. That a lot of people either don't know of. My thing flipped. That a lot of people don't know of, or at least rarely heard of. So, it's great. It's going to be good to get into this topic. I'm very good with comics.
I'm not. The only comic I ever read was like the Batman comics, and that was it. And that was a real good one for me. That was probably like the only one I got really sat down and got into. I think your mic is no, I can't hear you. I think you muted yourself.
Okay. Yep, I definitely did mute myself. Haha. See, we starting off. Get the jitters out real quick. Well, it's an hour in, so there is no more jitters. But beside the point. Topic one, we got comics, and the first one up is George Perez. His birthday's coming up. If you don't know who that is, well, I was about to get into it for you. If you don't know who that is a if I'm correct, he's a Puerto Rican artist from, if I remember correctly, New York. I think Brooklyn. Might be a little bit wrong on those.
Shout out to him. Shout out to him. He's from Brooklyn. Shout out to him.
Hey, shout out to him from Brooklyn. It's funny. But he's actually pretty famous, and you've actually seen a couple of the things he's done. You've actually seen his work in the Avengers Infinity Wars
comic.
Famous scene. No, not comic.
Oh.
Famous scene. Oh, well, not scene. I apologize. You're correct. Comic. And he is the man that drew, because he's a penciler. He's the person that drew the famous Thanos snap that wiped out half the universe.
Okay.
He also did a couple of Hulk stuff, Future Imperfect, and a couple of Avengers series that I had some pretty good stuff. He's also did, if I remember correctly, he might have done. I want to be confident in saying this. Excuse me. I'm pretty sure that he's the man that did either Crisis on Two Earths or Crisis on Infinite Worlds, one of the two, and I might be messing up some of them. I gotta go back to my comic book pad, but he's put in some work. He's made these little panels really good. He's drawn them really good. Obviously, you can't mess with professionals that know what they're doing. Um, so he's someone that you've seen, Trayvon, or and Gary. At least if you dabbled on some of the art or have come across it when it comes to the Infinity Wars,
I didn't know that. That's pretty cool though.
Yeah, his birthday month is in June. I'm gonna I'm gonna wish him.
You made it seem like his birthday was tomorrow.
No, not tomorrow. Not tomorrow, but I'm giving him a shout out because it's something that like I want everyone to be aware of. You know what I mean? Like it's a little bit of ways. It's a little bit of ways, but we're gonna get ahead of it so that we can make this man feel welcome listen, early on. All right, we're gonna get to the bottom of these things quickly. All right.
Listen, you made it seem like his birthday was tomorrow. In my head,
it is tomorrow. It is tomorrow. Now you see what it is tomorrow.
It isn't tomorrow. You just said
it is tomorrow. It's tomorrow. I'm just messing. All right, it is June, but yeah, I just wanted to let y'all guys know. It is, in my opinion, comic books is something that I personally really enjoy. But I think the next thing I want to bring it up to you guys when it comes to the comic books actually is this is a great thing for the LGBT community, specifically trans community members, in DC's Arrowverse, which hate it or love it, I'm gonna be honest, Flash was beautiful for the first few seasons, pretty good. First 2 seasons, excellent. I mean, first season, excellent. Second season, okay, we can let it go that the creators kind of did like a repeat of the same villain from season 1. Season 3, I'm not even gonna talk about. And then it's getting worse from there. A couple cool moments, but in the DC Arrowverse, coming from Supergirl, Dreamer debuted in comics for the first time. As from what I know, this is the first trans character that is completely that has a complete debut from TV into comics, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong here, and that's okay if I'm wrong. I'll definitely take it back, and I'll definitely pull it out.
You got real loud there. But shout out to the community getting your own hero.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. I think when it comes to comic books, and I'm gonna be honest, definitely comic books, definitely characters of fiction. It's a great thing to have original members from what you can literally build out of, and personally not have their orientation or just because they're a certain way, make it the overarching factor too much, or at least explode that out to somebody and throw it out to somebody for them to just accept it. I think this is beautiful because Dreamer actually is pretty cool. For Gary and Trayvon who don't know, Dreamer's ability is to be able to create, if I remember correctly, energy beams constructed from dreams. If I'm correct, I might be completely wrong.
So she's basically like what was it, the girl from the lady from Black Clover, where she can like take you to like a dream world or something along that line. She could be that. That's not a bad power. That wasn't a bad power.
So okay, I'm going to say illusion casting, but that might be a little bit of a problem here.
But you're in like a
be
dream
honest,
world and
it's
she
from
can like
it's
bring around, like,
it's
Getting a little loud, man.
huh? Oh, I'm getting a little loud.
yeah.
Nah, sure. It was sure that's all.
Oh, it was me that time. Yo, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why it just did that. I don't know why it just did that.
So
It was unique
so
for
dreamers powers. See, dreamers powers are astral projection, electrokinesis, energy construct creation, energy projection, only romancy. I like the name of that. That actually sounds wavy. And precognition. The precognition, as far as I understand, is not the. It is OP, but it's not the most OP version, overpowered version of precognition. But only chromacy is dream deviation, or is a term used to describe the ability of some characters to see the future through their dreams. So it's similar to precognition. I guess that's what her precognition is her ability to have a dream or to fall asleep, get into REM sleep, and be able to pick up on certain things that are going to possibly come from the future. Because if we know DC or Marvel's universes, whatever that matters, their freaking timelines are ridiculous. DC a little bit more confusing than Marvel, in my opinion. But yeah, celebration to them, to the community. Great for y'all. That's the power. But this is something I really wanted to talk to you guys. And a lot of people are Thor fans. Chris Hemsworth. And he's a little fit. I'm gonna be honest. He's got a little.
Did you know his son is in the movie?
His what?
His actual son.
Biological.
Yes. Yeah.
Is that the boy that's running?
Yes.
That's fire. Okay. Congratulations, young Hemsworth. Young Hemsworth.
His son is actually in the movie. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, congratulations. We have a I was gonna say something, but I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna wait until we have a little bit of fans. And we got some support. No. Okay, then congratulations. That's what I can say. Congratulations.
Isn't there a character that they didn't show in the trailer? It's supposed to be there.
I actually don't know.
Supposedly, I think.
Oh, tell us about it. Yes.
I think there's supposed to be somebody playing. I think it's the villain of the movie. They haven't showed him yet. And it's somebody. It's somebody in the movie. I know that. It's some actor. I don't know who it is. I was literally looking at it on a TikTok. I forgot who it was, but I know there's somebody that's supposed to be in that movie that they didn't show in the trailer. They still did that.
Okay. I don't know about the trailer too much. I was gonna leave that to kind of when we get closer to the date of the movie. We can sit and dissect that movie to really get some pieces in. Obviously, some of the bigger content creators when it comes to comic books, you definitely have a lot of people that are going to be going head first into that, and they're going to be attacking that.
That definitely does seem like it's going to be a good movie, though. I like
it does seem like it's going to be a good movie.
I like it. I like the direction they're going for the Thor movies, because this would be the end of the trilogy. No, basically the fourth movie for Thor.
This is going to be the fourth movie.
Yeah.
What was the third movie?
Ragnarok.
Right. Sorry, completely forgot about that. I thought that was the second movie. I'm gonna be honest.
No,
so the second one was the worst one.
Yes, Dark World.
Yes, with the black goo.
Yeah.
Yes, that's an Infinity Stone. Interesting. Forgot about that. I want to forget about it again. I don't want to think about that. So Thor is the next Odin.
Yeah.
In the comic book, with the God of Hammer, after the climactic battle, during the climactic battle between the God of Hammer, Magog, or Spirit of Magog, and Thor, and some of the heroes, as they were getting washed by Magog, because if Mad God can wash Odin and Thor, like I'm gonna be honest, Captain America with his shield is doing jack all. So we need to get him out of the character books. Gladiator, sure, but I mean, come on, Odin's stronger than Gladiator. So I'm gonna be like, that's mad whack. So I don't have a feeling about that. So yeah. How do you think that comic is gonna go now? How do you think comics is gonna go now that you have Thor that and there's only once in the history of his, well, maybe not once, but once in like actual continuity that Thor actually had the power of his father in totality. He had the power before, a little bit of it, but now he has totality. It was only one time he was before, and he was known as Rune King Thor, and he was powerful. He stopped Ragnarok, because Ragnarok in comics is a reoccurring event.
With the sister and everything.
Not with the sister. Okay, so Hela in the comic books is different. Hela's Loki's daughter. It's more in line with the actual mythology. But Loki is the father of Hela. Hela is in the comic books OD powerful. We're talking about almost Odin fearing power level. It's that powerful. So it's gonna be honest. She almost took over Valhalla, which should say something, because that's only the strongest, most daring warriors are there, and she almost took all them people for herself. So that's powerful. But no, the event that I'm talking about is Ragnarok in the comic books is a reoccurring thing. It happens every so often. Gods die. And the same thing happens over and over. Loki does something. The only person that figured it out was Odin, and Odin sent Thor to Earth so that Thor can become more human, and humans or mortals have the ability to change their destinies, while Asgardian gods or deities, quote unquote deities, are in stone. They're like they don't change their ways.
So whatever happens like that.
Whatever happens. So basically, and not even whatever happens. It's like destiny. Like it's going to happen.
Yeah.
The thing is that Thor in this case was stronger than Odin, because Odin had to sacrifice an eye, his brothers, and so on and so forth. He had to do a whole ritual. What Thor did is Thor said, your father did this, but you need to give us more. And if you give us more, we'll give you his power and more. So he lost both of his eyes, but was able to see the world in a new way. Okay. It's cool. So Thor was so incredibly powerful that he's seen the higher gods, the gods above Asgard gods. So they're gods basically, and said, "Yo, we not playing." Thor was like, "We're not playing by your game. We ain't playing by your rules. So you know what we're gonna do? Wipe the scoreboard. F everything. If we're gonna start it, we're gonna start over completely. You guys have no control of us." And that's why Thor has like new history now, quote unquote new history. His people aren't gonna die from Ragnarok, not in the same way it is. Now Ragnarok is a couple of other things, I guess you could say. Ragnarok pretty much already happened. But yeah, this is incredible news, because a long-time character, his father Odin, is officially dead. And Thor is now Odin. So when Thor gets tired of using his powers, instead of him being a big boy and able to take the hits, he falls asleep. Yeah, he has almost near Galactus power level. Yet if he uses too much, he gets knocked out and goes to sleep, and then he can die, which is terrible. I would never want Odin's power. Like I never want that.
That just means like, yo, bro, you go full power, you're gonna almost die, and you're gonna be asleep to die.
Yeah, I don't want to. But what do you guys, besides a really long backstory, what do you guys think about where the predictions is going? What do you think Thor's story is going to be like? Are they going to be like Thor is just way too powerful, so we're not even gonna worry about Thor. We're not gonna pay attention about Thor. Or do you guys think that Thor comic books are gonna be a new hit? Yeah, or a hit might be a long shot, but maybe
a hit is definitely a long shot when you have an OP
yeah,
character like that.
yeah, you know.
So they might maybe die it down a little bit. They may do something along that line because a character like that OP, if he can't really, not saying he can't die, but like
Okay.
you would have to bring somebody from there. Like you got to bring somebody more powerful than him every time to fight him. Like,
Right.
That's the thing. It would have to be something along that line. He can't fight like the same guys he's been fighting before.
Of course.
He's just gonna obliterate.
Okay.
Right. Okay. What do you think, Gary?
I kind of agree with that notion. It's like, that's what they usually do to people that's too powerful. They'll bench them for a while, make some new stories, or they may get another writer to actually roll with them, work with them, see what they can do with the older course. So that does seem pretty interesting, but it may be like, he's either too powerful or we got to find somebody to rival him. And if that's the case, he might end up actually dying, and then he's really out of the picture for a while.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, but I definitely don't think he'll be on the Avengers for a while because he's way too strong. It's going to be the Thor show with any fight they do, which is cool, but it's, these are things people got to think about. It's like, all right, could he even necessarily fit the team now, or is he going to outshine everybody and make it the Thor show? So we'll see how that goes. To be honest, I'm interested. But I do feel like they're gonna just make him too powerful and give him a bench they're like a universal threat that they need him. Or they may focus up on their stories with him and the other guards that can rival him. But it's either one or the other at that point. What's your take on? Think it's gonna be a blast? A bop?
Can you say that again? I couldn't hear you.
Like you think it's gonna be a bop?
About?
Bop.
About. I think it's gonna be a difficult issue. And difficult issue as in, I think personally, like, what are they doing? Like, I really don't want to see Thor with the ability to use Gaia's power to some degree, Odin's power to a full degree, if not more so, because it's combined with his power now, so it's definitely stronger than Odin. I'm pretty sure he can definitely put a dent, if not knock out Galactus, maybe not in one shot, but definitely with some effort. So I think if they do it correctly, Thor is no longer going to be an Avenger. He should not be an Avenger. He should leave the Avengers personally, and what he should do is he should have his own story in which an individual, his son, starts to come into being, because Asgards live in a different time motion than we do. Like they don't live 100 years and remember each year. They remember maybe 300 years, and they might pick a spot where they can remember, but it'd be like, if he left one day and 6 years later he sees Captain America, he's like, yo, we just went out for a beer. Like, that's what he's thinking. It's not that it's been 6 years. He just thinks he's been 6 minutes. So, Divinity definitely, they did a pretty cool job with Divinity in Marvel. Or a form of divinity, maybe. But I think it has its chance at success, and I'm gonna say it will stay afloat if they do it the right way. But I want to give it the benefit of the doubt, but I'm gonna say it's not. It's not gonna succeed. I think it's gonna rise for a little bit in the next story, depending on how they do it, and it's gonna fall. And then they're gonna do something with Thor and give Odin back his power or something like that, or make somebody strong enough. I don't know. But Odin's not done. They always bring back a character. No death is final. But let's get to animes real quick. So Watchdog got a new anime, and Watchdog, I believe, has a new anime or a manga, if I'm correct. Watch Dog.
Watch Dogs,
Show?
Watch the Dog. Yes,
Is it the
Watch
game?
Dog.
Like the
The
game?
game Watch Dog.
As an anime.
The game Watch Dog.
As
So
an-
you know how crazy it is. You know how crazy it is. The game Watch Dog.
Watch Dogs is gonna have an anime.
Yeah.
I mean, I just seen the Shenmue anime, so I wouldn't be surprised. But I feel like that was already something that could have happened. Yeah. That's interesting. That's all I can really say.
Okay. So I'm gonna leave it at that. That wasn't even. I just brought it up because I wanted to see our reactions. Watch Dog is the game was something else. That's all I can say.
I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. You know, I'll definitely check it out. Like I checked out the Shenmue anime.
What did you check out?
Did you ever play the game Shenmue?
No, I didn't. What's that about? Let's look at that real quick. You forget Watch Dogs. What you got on your sleeve, Gary?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a really old game that came out on Dreamcast, pretty much like some old school adventure story type game. This guy tried to avenge his father's last master who got killed in front of his eyes as a child. Well, not as a child, he was like 15, 16. You know, so he spent a majority of the game learning martial arts and trying to figure out how to, get between the guy. It was actually a trilogy of the game. The first two games were on Dreamcast, and the third game actually came out recently due to Kickstarter. It actually was not that good. Definitely wasn't worth the time we waited. But, what can we do? But yeah, anyways, I made an anime. I was watching a couple of the episodes. I was going to continue to watch it, just haven't had the time. But it seems pretty interesting. Like, the animation isn't like, anything crazy or anything you haven't seen before.
Fill me in on what is it you're talking about? My train of thought just lost. Somebody
because it was Watch Dogs. They hacked your consciousness. That's what it. They was like, yo, just a nod to the fact that Watch Dogs is an anime. That's what they were doing.
Oh, I'm good.
I'm not watching either. But so something that we
okay.
Huh?
If we still talking about manga and anime, I've seen that Shaman King is getting the adaptation. Well, not an adaptation. A sequel adaptation. So they're all adults now. And it's like, that's interesting. I'm actually a little bit surprised that they're doing it. Like, I really dislike how they made Chopalove look like. But it's okay. It'll be interesting to see.
I'm gonna say something. All you people who are making like shows kind of weird, such as like Spy Family, stop doing it.
Stop. Did you just say Spy Family is weird?
No. People are making it weird. People are saying that they're like the father and the daughter trying to insinuate that
some weird stuff. The internet is undefeated, but the internet can be something else. It definitely can be something else.
Let me tell you that show is really, really good.
That the show is good. The manga is even better. I tell you, the manga will have anyone that reads that is gonna be laughing, and also some adorable parts. But it's fun. It can be really funny if you just allow yourself to have like an open mind on comedy. It's pretty good. So the next thing is Black Clover, the manga. The adaptation is going to be reported to take a 3-month break to prepare for the final arc.
Yes, I was updated on that one, and that's actually what I was saying. When the first initial news came out about the indefinite hiatus, it was like Jujutsu Kaisen just did something similar. It was like, when it first came out, people thought that it was indefinite, but it's really the author taking a break. And yeah, I think that's very good. I've read it. Like, I've read up to the chapter that they're leaving us all on the break for. And I can definitely see why he would take a break. Definitely rest his mental, get back. And it's gonna be really crazy, to be honest.
Because you don't want to mess something up like that.
Fact.
You don't.
He's definitely gonna bring it home strong. But getting into the Black Clover though, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. I'm not going to say anything just in case anime onlys are about watching us. But the twist, wow, bro.
That is easily. I'm not gonna hold you. A great anime, like up and coming right now. Great anime. There's not a bad episode in the show. If you haven't watched it, really not a bad. Nothing. It's not really that slow. It's really good. Picks up. It keeps you going. Every episode gets better and better. There's really nothing I can say bad about the anime. Like every anime I've watched so far, it's nothing in that boat. Nothing. Really nothing bad I can say about the show. Okay. Character development good. Everything's good.
All right. Okay. That's a big statement. That's a big statement.
It's really it's not a big statement. It's a true statement.
That's a big statement. That's a big statement. I'm gonna be honest. Okay. So from what we understood, Demon Slayer is gonna be taking another break. As far as I can see, predict.
Didn't they just come out with a trailer for the next season?
Yeah. So I don't know when they're gonna be when that's coming out.
It'll probably be a winter next year or winter this year. Like what they do on My Hero, just take a break for a year.
They gotta stop doing that. I'm gonna be honest, Gabe. They I mean, Crownless. They gotta stop. They gotta stop taking a whole year to do these things. A little bit pull back on the maybe not the animation. Pull back on the drawing and the colors a little bit. You can cut some corners just a little bit. I guess that's the formula they got to come up with what they can cut. But Demon Slayer as a manga is a very good manga. I'm talking about the fights are going to get crazy.
You're talking about Demon Slayer?
Yes, Demon Slayer.
Oh,
I'm excited for Black Clover too. I'm definitely gonna watch it. But Demon Slayer this season, Trey Guns.
I've never
season. You have to check the season.
I've never watched a lick of Demon Slayer.
You should watch Demon Slayer. It's very good. Coloring is good. Animation's pretty good. Storytelling. It's not weird. It's not weird. It's definitely interesting. You can feel like you watched it before to a certain degree. Certain things you can pick up. Obviously there's familiarities among many different,
different animes. Yeah,
animes, TVs, and so forth. When it comes to just making entertainment for people. But Demon Slayer, in my opinion, has a very good twist on, maybe not twist, but a good look on brother takes care of sister type of atmosphere, and it's not like the sister cannot take care of herself. She's incredibly strong. Like we're talking about powerful demons. That's what I'm talking about. She's that powerful, but she's scared of the sun. Be careful. I'm not gonna get too far into it. I'm not gonna explain anything, but what I am gonna say is I suggest that you watch it. It's if it's not on par with Black Clover, in my opinion, it's better. And Black Clover is good. I'm not giving it any lick. It's good. Demon Slayer is something that's comparable.
I can't. That's a strong statement.
It is a strong statement, but it's supported with what you'll see. In the first season, the combat is really good. In the second season, in this season that just passed by, that season's amazing. That season's color, action, development, to some degree. I'm gonna take it back on the development part. Amazing. I'm gonna say it's good. It's on its flow.
I put Black Clover up there with best young anime, the best newer animes. I put it up there. It's like, it's definitely, for me, it's definitely one. My Hero was there for, yeah. My Hero was there for me at a point, but then I stopped watching it, and then I heard a lot of like extraness that's going on, and it's not looking too great. It's not going too great.
You said 1. I'm confused. Do you mean
Yes.
that Jujutsu? Do you mean that Jujutsu Kaisen is 1? Let's be very clear. Jujutsu Kaisen's on a level where, by its action, already ranks it better than most animes that are out right now. I'm not giving any slack to anything else, but Jujutsu Kaisen,
I like the Clover. I like
waves when it started throwing out episodes. You know,
about the manga. Black Clover kind of failed me with the ending of this arc. I'm gonna keep it 100 spec.
Okay.
Pretty much. The best way to put it is that it's definitely starting to show a Dragon Ball effect. You know what I mean? It's definitely happened before, but now it's very apparent. It's always, if this guy isn't the strongest one, there's always somebody stronger than him right next door. You know, and they just kind of did it too much for the rest of this arc. And you know, it was kind of cool because like they had it correct. You know, they had the 3 Spade siblings. You know, they were going off. All right, each one of them got demonic powers. Cool. Now we're getting more demons. Now more demons. Now another subsect of demons, and it looks like, yo, when does the power scale and stop? Chill. And then on the hero side, everybody was just, all right, let me get a power up. All right, I need another power up and fight. So like, oh shit, Dragon Ball.
But where's the L? Like, you know what it is? Where is the L taking at? Like that's the.
When we gonna have an Avengers Infinity War moment?
And that's why I really want to say it. You know, I feel like you should read the trade because the last chapter that they ended us on before the break, there wasn't even no action.
Damn.
There's a twist that's literally about to shock your whole understanding of the show.
Okay.
Like it had me.
Is it twist? I'm gonna take a leap at it because I never finished the manga. I watched certain parts of it. I read certain parts of it, and I watched. Is Asta, not Atsu. Astra. Asta. Is he going to or are we gonna see him turn into the full demon? And the full demon is like what, Lucifer himself, like the greatest god demon in the world? Like,
you're way back. We already know who this demon is.
Yeah. You're way back. Yeah.
Well, I know his demon. His demon is, you know, I'm not gonna spoil it for some people, but his demon is someone that is technically a friend of the family. It's a pretty cool person when it comes to the family.
I got
just to be vague about it.
I got up to that part of
that
next chapter of that.
I kind of do gotta say it just to spur the conversation.
Of course.
All right, so are y'all ready? I'm gonna give y'all 1 second to tell me if you're ready or not ready.
No.
You ready? I'm ready. I'm ready. Don't listen to this man up here. Don't listen to this man. Forget him. I'm ready.
Because I understand. It really is that shocking. Like
Gary, I need you not to understand. Forget him. He's not here. Mute him.
I'm here.
I'm present. Oh, okay. All right. So
it was very unexpected, is the most I will say.
Okay. All right. Very unexpected.
You gotta catch up.
All right. Okay. Oh, okay.
Because I got up to the next chapter of everything up to when they finally like leave that room that they was in. So it's like it's really, really good. But like it's up there. There's a lot of shows that are getting there, getting better and better.
Of course.
We got I never got the chance to watch it. We got Kingdom. Got that anime. I really got to watch it.
I would definitely 10 out of 10 recommend, you know, but it's definitely one of those. It's like XCOM or Civilization, but for anime. You know, you gotta sit there, stay methodical. You know, I mean, obviously there's a lot of action, but there's a lot of real world action. There's a lot of tactics going on, pretty much, and a lot of large scale battles, and you got to keep up with a lot of characters and factions. But it's really, really, really good, you know. But I'll talk about it long, and then nobody's really worried about spoilers. Jujutsu Kaisen, you know, they pretty much are starting to get a little knee deep in this new arc, pretty much. And it's like another tournament style arc, but the way it's going is very good. You know, like we're seeing a lot of sorcerers from like back during Sukuna's age, as well as a lot of new modern day sorcerers with a lot of different techniques. And they're pretty much going off. And on top of that, my boy Yuta came back. God damn is that man a menace. So that's the best way I can put it. That man is a menace. Like, I mean, I knew he was gonna be a menace because Gojo was like, yo, you, Yuji, and Hikari, y'all are prodigies. I know y'all gonna be crazy. But like giving him that time skip between what happened in the movie flashback versus now, he is fucking so much ass. It's crazy. Like his fight was very good. He pretty much fought a 1v3. And like, man, y'all gotta see it. Y'all definitely gotta see it. You know, they also showed Hikari off finally. Like we already got a fight from him, but now he's like actually fighting somebody, and like he's ape. Like he's probably gonna be one of my favorite characters by the time this fight's over. You know, so I'm definitely excited to see that. I'm also trying to see an update on Maki. Like I know what happened to her, but like I want to see her fight now. Because
Wait,
after
what
happened? So something in the anime, you know what I'm gonna just say.
Is it Baki?
Maki from Jujutsu Kaisen.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
We can't talk about Maki.
I don't know. I'm gonna wait until the new season comes out for Baki before we talk about that. I definitely want to have a good talk on that for all three of us. But continue.
I gotta watch another season.
Okay. So yeah. So I'm gonna be honest. You know, we've just hit the 2-hour mark. And generally, for everyone that has joined us today, we generally have or will be having this podcast about a duration of 2 hours. So you'll have 2 hours to relax, chill down, and listen to a breakdown of what's happening in the world. You know, we're definitely going to be able to bring you a lot of news and a good on the ground experience when it comes to the three of us in our perspectives on life. You know, you've probably heard some of it, but you didn't hear it from us. You know, what do you guys think?
It's a pretty great episode 1.
It's great episode 1.
Really great. You know, we're gonna pick this back up. When exactly are we picking this back up? What?
We're gonna pick it back up on Friday. Yes,
we're gonna pick it
Friday at 9:30.
That's a reach. That's a reach for me, buddy.
That's a reach for you. Okay, then
that work.
I'm gonna be honest. All right, then
maybe like 8. Like 8.
8 o'clock. We'll work out the details. And we'll post out exactly what time our hard schedule was going to be like. We're going to be consistent. It's going to be on those days, no matter what.
Wednesday and Friday.
Yes, sir. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday will be on every time on those days. Or we're gonna do our absolute best to bring you some good information on just different and variety of topics. Gary, how you feel? How you feel about this? How you feel about the first podcast?
Oh no, you know, I definitely agree. This was a good first episode. You know, everybody definitely did their thing, had a good conversation. About it, really.
All right, fantastic. Okay, that sounds good. You know, consistency is the key, and we're definitely gonna be consistent at it. And as we go along, we're definitely looking to just have a beautiful team, add more people, and you know, just work at this. So yeah, Trayvon or Gary, if you want to end it off.
No, you end it off. You end it off.
Or
I ended off.
Just, you know, it's good talk. Great talk.
Stay beautiful, stay positive.
Stay beautiful, stay positive.
That's a good one.
Okay. You know, this is the first CTU podcast. This is episode 1. Thank you everyone for joining. You know, it's a great and wonderful thing. Yo, clap it up. Yeah. You know, thank you for joining us on our first episode 1. Please subscribe on YouTube to each
Follow
one
us
of
on
us
Twitch.
here. Follow us on Twitch. You have Trey Guns, you have Crownless Kings. And I am Unique Story. You know, I have a great story to tell, and I want to tell it.